Fort Myers, 1885. The Seminole Lodge, a winter getaway to some of the most famous inventors, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Harvey Firestone.
They were like the three musketeers. The three of them worked well together. Of course, Harvey Firestone was into rubber and tires, and of course that meshes greatly with Henry Ford. And Edison, being the seasoned inventor that he was, the three of them got along very well.
Good friends. Some may have even considered calling them the original Geek Squad. Brilliant, nonetheless.
I believe Edison and Ford were regarded as two of the most influential men of the 20th century.
Yes.
So maybe it makes sense that they were good friends.
He always said that he would not have been the inventor that he was if it wasn't for Thomas Edison.
These inventors changed the course of history, but it was Edison's wife Mina who froze their legacy in time in the state. The Edison estate opened to the public in November 1947 and became one of Florida's most sought-out attractions.
Mina Edison, outlived her husband Thomas and deeded her side of the property, the Edison estate, to the city of Fort Myers for only $1, and she really wanted it to be exactly what it is today.
Edison bought 13 acres of property from a friend for $2,750. But her dollar helped in her mission to preserve his work and their life together, which consisted of the main house, guest house, and caretaker's home.
All the furnishings in the houses are original in Edison's main house and Edison's guest house. So we have all the original bedding and furnishings that he had when he was here. All paper products we do keep inside to preserve from the Florida heat, of course.
Ford initially stayed in Edison's guest house and then later bought property next door. Ford, Firestone, and Edison were always collaborating.
So Ford only spent about 2 weeks out of the year here, whereas Thomas Edison would spend 2 to 4 months. So he really treated this as the entire winter season, whereas Henry Ford only really came to visit during the time of Edison's birthday.
Thomas wasn't the only Edison that loved to create.
The Moonlight Garden, I would say, was Mina Edison's baby on the States. This is what she really put her touch into.
The Moonlight Garden was built in 1928 by one of the first female architects, Ellen Biddle Shipman, to cover the hole left after Ford and Edison moved their laboratory. It was funded by Henry Ford himself.
This Moonlight Garden here has the pond in the middle that reflects the moonlight at night, really making this space come alive at night.
Like many inventors, Workspace kept their love for innovation going. The Botanic Laboratory across the street is now cemented in history.
Number one thing is that laboratory that we have is the only botanical research laboratory that Thomas Edison had at all.
Edison's Botanic Research Lab is now a designated National Historic Chemical Landmark. It's the only site in Florida to receive the title.
Everything in here is original to Thomas Edison. Of course, we have things more in a displayed way, but everything in here Edison used and touched himself.
It was created because Ford and Firestone were concerned about America's dependence on foreign rubber sources. It would be Edison's last project before he passed away.
Henry Ford and Firestone did try to keep the corporation alive for a bit there, but I think with the passing of Edison, neither one of them felt as connected to the project as they were when Edison was alive.
Now, almost a century later, that connection lives again. Ingrained in every beam, in every fiber of the lodge, now preserving a legacy as bright as Edison's ball.